In this video, I'm reviewing the Windone E20 electric bike, which is Windone's step-through compact utility commuter e-bike made for handling daily commuting and running everyday errands at an affordable price that should appeal to many riders. I previously made another video that's a general overview of the E20, which I'll leave a link in the description. But for this particular video, I'm reviewing how the E20 handles an acceleration test, a braking test, a hill climb test, and reviewing how it rides. So let's get to it. So before I get into the testing, here's a basic breakdown of the E20. It's made of aluminum with a low step-through frame design. It's powered by a 350 watt brushless rear hub motor, a 36 volt 10.4 amp hour lithium ion battery that's IPX5 rated. It has front and rear racks, 20-inch wheels with 3-inch wide tires, a 7-speed Shimano drivetrain, and mechanical disc brakes.
The thing I'm checking is the speedometer accuracy on the Windone E20. The bike taps out around 17.3, 17.4 miles per hour. I'm comparing to a GPS speedometer app on my phone. Bike says 17, app says 17. Perfect. So we've already confirmed that the speedometer is actually accurate on this bike. So now we're going to test out the acceleration using throttle only to the top speed of 17 miles per hour. Ready? And go! 5, 10, 15. All right, it's topped out.
So the E20 went 0 to 5 in 3.6 seconds, 0 to 10 in 5 seconds, 0 to 15 in 8.6 seconds, and to the top speed of 17.4 in 12.4 seconds. So this bike is designed to provide a smooth, relaxing ride when running errands around town, and it accelerates like it. The 350 watt motor is not a powerhouse, but it is smooth, quiet, and it does take a little time getting up to the top speed.
Okay, it's really windy right now, but we're gonna test out the hill climbing ability using only the throttle. This hill right here is about an 8 to 9% gradient. So I really wanna see how the bike handles this before I go to a 15% gradient. So we're going 11 miles an hour. It is slowing down dramatically. 10, 9, 8 miles an hour. 7. Okay, so we did that. So we can do an 8 to 9% gradient using only the throttle. Now we're going to test it on a 15%. Okay, now we're going to do the hill climbing ability using only the throttle on a 15% gradient. And I can already tell you this is not going to go well. We're about 10% right now and it's basically going to stop. So yeah, we're just gonna go with pedal assist from this point on. So I think that this bike, realistically, with the throttle, will go up a 10% gradient. I'm 175 pounds to give you an idea how much weight this bike is carrying. All right, here we go. Doing the last hill climb, up a 20% gradient. We're using pedal assist only. Level 5. We've already confirmed that using only the throttle, the bike's good for about 10 to 11% gradient. So we are now in the granny gear. About 7 miles an hour. This bike is not a powerhouse, but the power is not bad. We're climbing up 7 miles an hour. We've hit the steepest part. So far, so good. I'm not breathing very hard, so yeah. Okay, here we go. Hitting the top of the hill. It's starting to get windy. But there you go. E20 made a 20% gradient pretty easily.
So as you can see, the bike realistically can climb a hill up to 10 to 11% gradient using only the throttle. I was able to climb a 20% gradient using pedal assistance pretty easily, so I think you'll probably do 22 to 23% before it starts to become difficult. Next was the braking test from 3 different speeds. First was from 8 miles per hour, which is the legal bike speed limit on the beach boardwalk, and the E20 stopped in 4.5 feet. Second is from the throttle top speed of 17.3 miles per hour, which the bike did in 14.5 feet. Last was from the pedal assist top speed of 20 miles per hour, which the E20 did in 19.5 feet. Now I do have to say, I was pleasantly surprised with the braking power of the E20. These brakes aren't very big, and they're not the most powerful, but they work very, very well. And the last test, and probably the most important one, is the ride comfort test. So I've been riding the E20 a lot in the town that I live in, everywhere from quick 5-minute rides to the grocery store to 45-minute rides. And through all these rides, I feel I have a pretty good understanding of the comfort, strengths, and weaknesses of the bike. So first with the strengths. The bike on slower rides is an absolute joy to ride. The E20 is calm, smooth, compliant, quiet, and pedals efficiently. I will say that the E20 is definitely designed for smoother city streets and to stay at slower speeds under about 20 miles per hour. And the addition of the front and rear racks is pretty awesome and really makes it so you can use the E20 to run your daily errands. The seat is also very comfortable and has decent padding and a comfortable shape. The power is also pretty good if you're riding in mostly flat areas. But I did find that on longer, steeper climbs, you will have to pedal, and the seat height isn't that high. So if you're really tall, your knees will come up pretty high, which isn't the most effective way to put down power. And I also noticed that when downhill at speeds over 22 miles per hour, there was some slight movement in the front that gave it a slight wandering feeling. I attribute this to the 20-inch wheels just getting overwhelmed with the stability at those higher speeds. But if you stay under 22 miles per hour, then the bike rides very smoothly. So as a whole, the E20 is a very comfortable bike to ride, and it only really gets skittish at high speeds or over rocky pavement. So far through my extensive testing, the E20 has held up really well to daily use. The 350-watt brushless rear hub motor is almost silent, is extremely smooth, and has a usable amount of power. It's able to cruise around easily and it's pretty comfortable. There is no suspension on this bike, so it is a little jarring on rough pavement, but it does stay composed. I did spend most of my time using the throttle, but I can confirm this bike does in fact pedal really well, and is very efficient. With its 7-speed drivetrain, the E20 is able to pedal easily around 20 miles per hour. And definitely one of the biggest highlights of this bike is the front and rear racks, which can hold a decent amount of stuff. But even though I do like the racks, I do wish they had sides to them so the rider isn't forced to tie everything down, since items can slightly shift if they're not tied down correctly. And while this bike is very smooth and comfortable, some of its other biggest selling points are affordability and value. It's a bike that can be used for handling daily errands and just cruising around town, but I do wish that the throttle speed went up to 20 miles per hour instead of 17.4, but it's certainly not a deal breaker. So in conclusion, if you're looking for a smooth, calm, and fun little e-bike to cruise around town, and you don't really care about having gobs of power, then the E20 is a really good bike. It's not the fastest or the most powerful e-bike, but it certainly excels at what it's designed for. But if you have any questions, or own an E20 yourself, want to share your experience, please leave them in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great one.